Hi Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Alright, I was seeing Three of Cups wanting to come out. We are starting off with Eight of Cups. Alright, it looks like you're making it out of something now. Coming out of something. This was the situation. You could have felt like it was something where you sort of like wanted to move out of this, but you didn't know how you were going to fare within this scenario. I'm seeing High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, which is feeling like there may be some like divine wisdom that you received that gave you some insight about this situation. I'm seeing Six of Wands here, which really shows you Eight of Cups is you recognizing like a situation really for what it is and what it's doing or not doing, like for you or with you, however you want to call that. And having Six of Wands is like being able to come out of the situation, like out of the brush is what this is feeling like. But it was definitely something that had you... There was an emotional involvement of sort that could have even been what like brought you into this situation in the first place, but then I'm seeing it get to a point where it could have felt like that's not what you were finding, like it wasn't going to satisfy that within you. I see Eight of Cups as recognizing that like what I need right now in this moment, I'm no longer going to find it in this situation. And so it's an expanding beyond that. And having Six of Wands here shows you sort of like successfully working throughout this situation. I'm also seeing Nine of Wands, so you can feel like this is a pretty difficult thing for you to do. A bit challenging. Having Nine of Wands can feel like you're sort of pushed to your limits in a way, where it takes a whole lot of energy to get something done. It seems to like facing change is also part of this as well, but it could be something that keeps you from moving this way. Wow. It's kind of like having to face the scary monster at the door to get inside here. Because I'm seeing us end this part of the spread with the Ten of Pentacles. And Ten of Pentacles is like how you want things to be and how things would be ideally working for you. Eight of Cups is you looking at a situation and being like, okay, I'm not going to pull what I need from that in the present moment. It's really important that that's clarified, because in the past, this could have been something that felt fulfilling to you, or in the past, this could have been something that like resonated with you on a much different level than it does now. Having Eight of Cups is like what's calling to me now, or what's going to resonate with me now. I don't feel like it's so much this situation anymore, or this activity anymore, or this friendship anymore, like whatever this is for you, or doing things in that way anymore. So it's about sort of like figuring out where to go from here. But I'm seeing this more than anything, it doesn't look like you're immediately jumping into the next thing, so you may not be like distracted by something ahead of you. This could be about just sort of removing yourself from this situation. I feel like you're getting out of something. That's what this is feeling like. So whatever this is, this feels like you getting out of that, like the clutches of this. But it can be like the emotional clutches of this. It can be the psychological clutches of this. It can be the energetic clutches of this. Whatever that is for you. And you can feel like it takes so much effort to sort of find your way through this and get to the top of here where you're trying to go. And then having Nine of Swords is kind of, again, like facing that monster that's at the top of the stairs. Like yeah, you can go up there, but it's going to be difficult. And there might also be something that's waiting for you where you're like, that's going to be really hard for me to face. I see this card, this particular one in this particular deck, as being associated with like a fear of things changing and like what's going to happen then. Because if you look closely at this card, it's about sort of the decaying of something. And it feels like allowing yourself to release something that's already like on its way to decaying, but needing to face that, like, this is going to change, or things are going to be different, or I am going to release this, or I am going to surrender to this and let it be what it's going to be, and then also like transition into what it's going to transition to next. But what I'm seeing things transition over into is the Ten of Pentacles. So that means that, like, through facing your fears within this situation, or your anxieties or your worries or whatever it is that's coming up for you, you're moving over into the Ten of Pentacles, which is you feeling safe. You feeling stable, you feeling secure, you feeling like things are working the way that you want them to. Because I see Ten of Pentacles as being standing in a space that you feel like really reflects your ideals to you, where things are sort of like working and circulating properly. Like things are how they're supposed to be, like how you feel they're supposed to be. Like everything being right in the world. Things being okay. Things functioning around you the way that you feel like they should be functioning around you. I wonder too if this has to do with your environment as well. Seeing Eight of Pentacles, Five of Wands. Eight of Pentacles to me is feeling like the way that you are designing things. It can also too be like just the design of things. So whether this is about like you having your hand in something or not having your hand in something, you may just feel like you're experiencing something. Sort of like the view at large here. But there can be feeling of conflict about that, like the way that something is what this is feeling like. It's kind of like what has been painted as far as this scenario, as far as this situation. Having this here can feel like some type of problem with that, or there can be some type of conflict with that, or there can be something where you're like, I want this to change, or I don't want it to be like this, or I don't want it to stay like this, or I do want it to stay like this and it's changing, you know, like those types of things that come up where it's like, what's gonna happen? It can feel kind of chaotic, what's taking place. Like an unknown maybe. This has to do with a relationship I'm seeing. I'm looking at the Lovers here. So this is an interpersonal thing that you're involved with. I guess it doesn't have to be interpersonal. The Lovers for most of you is going to be another person, but for others of you, if this situation isn't another person, it can be like something that you're involved in that you have a relationship to. So it can be like your relationship with work or to work. It can be your relationship with an activity that you do. Having the Lovers here symbolizes you being involved in or with something that you care about. So it can be like an activity that you care about. It can be someone that you care about. Those types of things. It's like something where there's love for that. You have love for that. I see this Eight of Pentacles as also being a card of determination as well. Like seeing Eight of Pentacles and seeing Five of Wands can be like we're determined to work through this so that we can be like free once again, can be the feeling. Because maybe you even felt like you got caught up within something. Maybe even by design. And then having this, you know, actually what this is feeling like to me? Having the Eight of Pentacles here is feeling like you created this. And looking at the Five of Wands over here, it feels like maybe the things that got stuck within there where you were like, that's not part of this. Like, that wasn't part of the plan, but like naturally things are going to get caught up in like what it is that you're doing. And it feels like it could have impacted a relationship of yours. And this feels like tending to those things that are coming up that have now become involved in this, addressing those things so you can be like set free from this, so you can sort of free up whatever this is that needs to be addressed, that needs to be dealt with. And then I'm seeing Queen of Wands over here, so it feels like you can feel like you're changing through the process, like the way that you do things is changing through the process, the way that you show up, the way that your like self-trust shows up on you, and how you reflect that in your interpersonal relationships. Because this is really looking like a situation that is an opportunity for you to empower yourself, but it can be something that's difficult to do because of needing to sort of trust yourself and guide yourself through this. Looks like this is being taken care of. But it could have been something that was maybe puzzling and also troubling you. I feel more than anything like you found yourself in a situation and you were like, I don't like this, or I don't prefer this, or I don't want this, something like that. Or I don't like the way that this is, because it doesn't, like Eight of Cups, yes, can be a whole situation, but it can also be part of a situation where you're like, I don't like this aspect of the dynamic. So that would have been something that needed to be addressed, because you could have felt like you weren't like really getting what you needed from that. I do, ending with the Ten of Pentacles and also the Ten of Swords feels like this cycle is now closed. Like it feels like a completion here, having both of these energies where things are being set right. Maybe you also feel too like hesitant sometimes to address stuff because of fearing the way that things may change or like what they may become because of that. But also it being like that versus you staying true to yourself, like being true to yourself and being true to like your feelings and what you want and don't want. Because I'm saying want and don't want because we have Queen of Wands here, which is connected with your sacral energy, I see. And also I see Queen of Wands as being like the first three chakras. So we have your root and your sacral energy, and we also have your solar plexus. Root is about like what allows you to feel safe, what allows you to feel secure, like your needs are being met. Your sacral energy is about likes and dislikes, among other things, like preferences, that type of stuff. And then also how you express yourself. It's also about expression as well. And then the solar plexus is going to be about what you are willing to do or what you're not willing to do, how you're willing to show up or not willing to show up, especially when you have something to say or something to express. It's like the willingness or the belief in self to do those things within your power. So yeah, this does feel like facing whatever this is by being like, this is really how I feel or what's going on for me within this, and allowing things to sort of be what they will. But the thing is that I'm seeing it turn into the Ten of Pentacles, which maybe you were worried about or fearing like maybe this whole thing is going to fall apart now and I'm sort of going to be left with nothing. But I'm seeing the Ten of Pentacles, which means that things become like extremely better by you addressing this thing that may have felt very like intimidating to address. It leads to the Ten of Pentacles, which is like things moving the right way again. And now you're not in this situation anymore where you're begging for thread. And I'm seeing us end with the King of Cups, which feels like emotionally you being in a space that's centered and just moving along things. Maybe you felt like there was a process of sort of swimming through your emotions, or there could have just been like a lot of stuff that was coming up for you. Could have felt sort of surrounded by it, and it was just something that needed to be dealt with here. Some of you may not have addressed this yet. It's about sharing how you feel. Like, are you going to express what's going on for you or not? Because it's like a choice of whether or not you will do that. But I'm seeing a good outcome if you decide to. Ending with the Ten of Pentacles is a good outcome. Definitely feels like things becoming better. Which seems like is in line with what you've been like working on. Like this is aligned with the effort that you've been putting in. It's going to mirror that for you. Like you continuing to show up and do what you're doing here. The Ten of Pentacles is going to be reflective of that. Like you putting in an effort to shape things in the way that you want them to be shaped as you're designing things. Having Gemini be the only zodiac sign here feels like this is about confrontation and communication, about addressing something. It feels again like an interpersonal thing, like addressing something with a partner, with a friend, or with a sibling, or like whoever this person is that you're dealing with. And showing up as yourself, regardless of how maybe like scary or intimidating this can be, or overwhelming, or how much anxiety you're experiencing, whatever it is. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.